Today's video, I'll be talking about how much it costs to live in America. And I will also tell you how much it costs to live in California, in the state that I live in. Um, I live in Los Angeles County. But first, I'll be talking about how much it costs for the average American to live in the United States, just to cover their basic expenses. Here is a single, fully employed person making about $25 an hour, and all the expenses that go along with it, like rent or mortgage, property tax if you own a home, HOI, homeowners insurance, car note. This is your, if you bought a car with a loan, this is called a car note. Fuel, how much fuel you use every year. This is per year, by the way. Utilities like natural gas, water, and power. Cell phone bill. Everyone has a cell phone these days. Car insurance and car registration. Car registration fees range anywhere from $150 to $350, depending on the car. Car insurance, we have to pay car insurance if you own a car. This could range anywhere from $250 to $450 a month, depending on the car. But I just put it at the average car, which is about maybe $300 or something like that per month. Health insurance, if you work full time, then your employer should cover for your health insurance. If you do not, then you have to pay for your own health insurance. If you only work part time, then you have to pay for your own health insurance. Or if you are a independent contractor or have your own business, then you have to pay for your own health insurance. Groceries, of course, we need groceries. Childcare, if you have children. ISP is internet service provider. We all have to have internet these days to work and do everything we have to do. And net savings at the end of it is how much money you save at the end of the year after you pay all your expenses. So for a single person earning $25 an hour, working 40 hours a week, that's a standard work week for the average person, you will earn about $52,000 a year. Of course, you don't get to take all of this home. About 25% is taxed. Anywhere from 25 to 30% of this is taxed through income tax. So after 25% is taken, you get to take home $39,000. This is what you would get on your paycheck when you get paid by your employer. The rent or mortgage for a one-bedroom apartment is about $2,000 in the United States. That's the average. Property tax, you don't have to pay property tax because you're renting an apartment. There's no homeowner's insurance because you're renting an apartment. The car note, here's what an average car costs in the United States. And of course, you have to pay a down payment. And after you pay all your registration fees and everything, it comes down to you will pay about $754.85 per month for your car loan for the average car in the United States. That's for your car note. You pay every year. Your fuel is $1,885 per year. Let's say your work is about 30 to 35 miles away. The price of gas is about $4 to $4.50 per gallon. Comes out to $1,885 per year. Utilities, this includes natural gas, water, and power. About $3,600 a year. Cell phone service, I pay about $55 a month. Some people pay a little bit less than that, or some people pay a little bit more than that. But I just put this number because that's about what I pay for it. Car insurance, of course, we have to pay that. It's about $290 to $300 a month, so $3,500 a year. Health insurance, you don't have to have health insurance if you're working full time. Your employer covers it. Your groceries, of course, you must have that. You must eat. And grocery bills have been going up a lot in the past 4 years. About $350 per person. This is not eating out at a restaurant. This is just going to the grocery store and buying just regular groceries, which you would use to prepare a meal. Childcare, zero. I don't. But this person is single. This person does not have children. Internet service provider, anywhere from $75 to $85 a month. Okay, $1,020 per year. So after all this, this is what you make. And if you subtract all your expenses, you would be short $8,913 per year. That would be a deficit. So I added a little bit extra here. So how many more hours do I have to work to cover for this deficit? Okay, the total amount of money, which is $8,913, and the wage is $25, but you're not taking all $25. You're only taking $1,875, right? So it's 8,913 divided by 1,875. So you have to work 475 hours a year to cover for this. And there's 52 weeks in a year. So that's about 9 hours and 9.14 hours plus 40 hours. So you have to work 49 hours per week to be able to afford to live in a 1-bedroom apartment in the United States. So 40 hours a week is definitely not enough. And most employers will not give you overtime. So you have to make up this $8,913 an hour by doing other things. You could do social media, you could do e-commerce, or you could do a gig job or whatever to cover for that. But you have to make up for this deficit. So the next example is a single person who is fully employed 40 hours a week with this wage, with this income. Of course, this time he has a mortgage. He or she has a mortgage. The average house in the U.S. is $450,000, and you have to put 20% down. It's 20% that so you must have $90,000 to make this. If you don't, then you don't have a house. Okay, and this is a 30-year mortgage, so it comes out to $3,021 per month. Times 12 is $36,240 per year. You have to pay property tax on this, which is about 1.25%, anywhere from 1.1% to 2% in some states, but I'll just say 1.25%. It's like the average, $5,625 in property tax per year. Homeowner's insurance is about $4,500 a year. Car note, same. Fuel, all the other parameters are the same. Except you have a deficit of $31,278. So you must work 1,668 hours more in a year, right? In a year. Plus the 40 hours. So you have to work 72 hours a week to afford a house all by yourself with an income of hourly wage of $25 an hour. Okay. How about for a family of four with no home, just renting an apartment? Would they be able to keep their head above water? So you have two incomes, let's say at $60 an hour, $30 each person. Okay. But what if it was 20? What if it was $50? If it was $50, if let's say two people were making $25, so that's $50 an hour. This is a yearly income. This is a yearly income after income tax, which you must pay to the federal and state governments. Rent, mortgage, 32. There's no mortgage, so it's just rent. You need to rent a bigger place, maybe a 3-bedroom apartment, so it will cost you more. Your car note, you have two cars instead of one, so this is more. Fuel, you consume twice the fuel because two people are going to work. Utilities are more because you have more people, 4 people instead of one person. Cell phone service, you have 4 cell phones. Maybe you're getting a deal at $40 or $35 per person. $1,920 for cell phone service. Car insurance, you have 2 cars. You have to pay double the car insurance. Health insurance, you're fully employed, so you don't have to pay. Groceries, more because you have more people. Childcare, $9,600 to maybe sometimes can be $15,000 a year, but I'm just putting it at $9,600 at the absolute cheapest. ISP, you can share that between 4 people. So you have a deficit of $11,406 per year. And to make up this deficit, both people must work 46 hours per week to make up for this deficit in income. And remember, none of this has anything to do with any type of income. This is just the money that you need to just have a roof over your head and feed yourself and have shelter. This isn't anything extra. You're just working to pay your bills, right? Or what about the next example? A family of 4 that has a house. Let's say they make a better income of $30 an hour per person because you need more money to afford to buy a house, right? Let's say this couple is making $124,800 per year household income. This is what they have after they pay their taxes. This is their mortgage for a 3-bedroom regular house, which costs about $450,000 in the United States. You have to pay property tax, homeowner's insurance, car note, fuel, and all the others. And you would have a deficit of $9,771 a year after you pay all your expenses, taxes, and everything. So your hourly you have to work 217 hours per year more to cover for these expenses. So that will come out to 44 hours per week. If you can get more than 44 hours, then you can save money. How about a single person with no college degree and no skills or anything, marketable skills? They would probably make about $19 an hour. They would do something like some gig jobs, part-time jobs, and not make a lot of money. This would be probably about the average wage for a non-skilled person in the United States doing part-time or gig jobs. And sometimes it could even be lower than this because the minimum wage in the United States is $7.25 an hour. So in some states that don't have that just have a minimum wage of $7.25 or maybe $10 an hour or something like that, you will be making less than this. But I would assume that the cost of living is much lower in living in such a state. But this is what their yearly income would be working 40 hours, okay? And this is what they would make after taxes. This is what they would pay for rent. And of course, they have to have a car. They need to pay fuel for their car and all the other stuff. They need to work. They'll have a deficit of $25,473 per year. They need to work 1,788 hours more per year. That comes out to 74 hours a week they must work to just pay their bills, right? And for me, I'm only working part-time, and this is about how much I make, and I only work anywhere from 20 to 30 hours a week. But remember, I have a house that's paid off. I don't have car notes. I don't have any debts, and this is just a job that I do. I have other income as well, right? And I have savings, so I don't have to worry about it. Even without this income, I could still live. But I just work. This is the job that I do. This is how much I make after tax. I don't have a mortgage. I do have to pay property tax. In California, your property tax is frozen at the time that you bought your house. I bought my house in the late 1990s, so I didn't pay very much for my house. Okay. So my property tax is based on the late 1990s, which is very low, right? So I'm only paying about $1,900 a year per property tax. That's it. My homeowner's insurance, of course, I'm paying more because I live in California, maybe about 5.5 grand. Okay, no car note. Of course, I have to put fuel for my car. My work is very close to where I live, so it doesn't cost me that much to go to work. And utilities, same. Cell phone bill, the same. Car insurance, car registration, about that. Health insurance. So I buy subsidized, government subsidized health insurance from the state of California. So this is about what I pay a year for this. Groceries, about this, because I go fishing a couple of times a year and I catch fish, and the most expensive thing in the grocery store is our meat products, like pork, fish, lamb, beef, and stuff like that. That is what costs a lot. But I go fishing, so I supplement it by that way. I don't have children, so zero for childcare. Internet service provider, I pay about that. So I'm able to save $5,195 per year just doing part-time work. So I'm older than I'm about 49 years old. I was able to buy a house for not that much money, and my property tax was locked at the price that I bought my home, and it only went up 1% a year from the time that I bought my home. The property tax, basically, it's not being assessed every year like it is in a lot of states. Like most states, property tax is assessed every year. So the property tax goes up every year. So if the price of the real estate goes up, then your property tax goes up. That is a real burden on a lot of people in states that don't have property tax that's locked in. So that's what I wanted to share with you. If you want to share your experiences, you can by commenting. And thank you for watching.